Wait, yeah, that was our sound. I was worried there for a second. I thought that was the countdown sound. I had to do a double take. Welcome everybody to Wednesday Night Live. We're back again, another Wednesday. Brian's running late. Fine.
Shocker.
Timmy's here with us. Of course, Tom is back from vacation. Wait a minute. What's that say on the left side of you?
What does it look like it says?
It says.
Okay. For a second there, I thought for my eyes saw beef you. And I'm like, why is Tom got a sign that says beef you on it?
Where's the beef?
Yeah. Who's that sign? What do I want to say here?
I like Tom's sign, actually.
Who's it directed?
It's directed at whoever the hell wants to read it.
What's up, everybody? Hey, Tom.
Lonnie, we do not work for Zamplebox.
Yeah,
we have no idea what's going on with your box.
Yeah, we have no idea, buddy. Go to their Facebook page or go to their website. All right, Tom, welcome back.
Thanks. And I wasn't on vacation. I was working.
Well, you're not on the show. That's technically a vacation.
No.
You don't want to tell anybody you're on.
It was a working vacation.
No, it was just straight working.
Yeah, Brian's coming. Brian's coming. He has got new hours at his work, so he can't make it exactly at what time is it for him over there? 9?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock? Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's 3 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours. Yeah, 8 o'clock. Yeah, he'll be here though. I'm not sure exactly what time he'll get here, but he'll be here. We got a great show for you guys tonight. We're going to kind of focus on advocacy and doing our part tonight, and even some small things. One of the things that it came up on my history. That's why I'm bringing it up today, and it came up on my history, and I thought, well, this needs to come back, and that was the I smoked for years and sign. I'm going to put that sign in the Wednesday Night Live Facebook group page. It's a high-res photo, so you can print it out. What I did is, what I think a lot of people did is they just opened it on their tablet. That way, if you don't want to print it, you could just open the picture up on your tablet, hold your tablet up to your thing. I think, where's my picture? Well, the picture is the thumbnail tonight, but you can't see my face. But it is a cool little thing. I think we need to get back to doing that and getting those pictures out there. Did you guys do? I think, Tom, I remember seeing yours.
We did it. We did it a long time ago when that sign
like
first dropped.
400 years ago.
Yeah. I think I have it somewhere. I search on the Zamplebox thing.
Yeah, find it, Tim. If you can find it, we'll show.
Yeah, find mine too, Tim.
Oh,
okay,
what
Tom.
the hell? Look at this guy. He's been back. What?
Well, you'll just have to give me this fuck you science intro, since Brian can't barely claim it anymore.
He's been back 3 minutes and 41 seconds, and he's already barking out fucking orders, dude. What the hell?
Well, why should I go look for it in the same post that Tim's going to when you can just find both of them? Work smarter, not harder, John.
I guess. We'll let you have that. Yeah, it should be in the zone. I forget what we hashtagged. That it might help you find it faster. I don't know.
Did we hashtag it?
I don't know if we did or didn't, but
I found it. I found mine. Yeah, you want me to share?
Yeah, share it. Let's share that.
Hold on. I should be able to find Tom's if it was around the same. We did it in 2018, by the way.
2018, yeah.
Yes, sirree, Bob. There you go. Share that puppy right there.
There he is.
There it is. There it is. Poke. Yep. Look at that. And the old glass bottles with the classic dripper.
Dripper on there.
Yes. And it had the alternative iota. That was a really great flavor. And a lot of people did not know, and I didn't know for the longest time, that they used Nick salt. They were one of the vendors that used Nick salt in the low milligram mixtures. It was 3 and 6 milligram. They were all Nick salt. I did not know that.
Yeah. Look at the old Wismec mod there. The
RX 200S, baby.
200. Why did I say 300?
Well, the original was the 200, and then they came out with the 200S. Which is that one. And then they had a firmware update that allowed you to customize the logo on it. Notice the Swifty Rocks with the 3 stars logo. You could create and upload your own logos.
Yeah.
Right. You could get all fancy.
Yeah, you could get all fancy.
Hello,
Yeah,
everybody
so
out there. Luke,
I'll,
1 minute. Everybody that's out there. Justin. Who else is out there?
Exquisite Bliss. That's a
All the
cool
people are out
YouTuber
there.
name.
Yeah.
Who 1 min slow mo. New viewer. Don't recognize that name. Where are you from, 1 min? You said it's 7 a.m. So you must be like
Yeah.
Australia, New Zealand, that side of the planet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm close. I know I'm close
Hello.
because you're like 15, 16 hours.
And there's mine. Yeah, it was fun doing those. It was awesome actually just seeing the Facebook page full of those pictures. Instagram, the feed was just filled with us. We took over. We took it over. I like to see that come back, and everybody start doing that. Like I said, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and post the high res photo of that. This photo here on the Wednesday Night Live Facebook group page, and you guys can download that picture from there. And like I said, you can print it out, or like what I did in my picture, it's just my tablet. So I just opened the file in my tablet and just held it up there to the camera and took a picture of it, and then just use it. You put it on your Twitter, put it on your Instagram, put it on your Facebook, or
On all your social media.
all your social media stuff. Yeah,
I'm
you
looking for Tom's.
Yeah. Find Tommy's.
Mine might just be the sign itself without my handsome mug.
Yeah, I just opened the file up on my tablet and took my picture, and then I posted it everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, and we're also going to talk about another page too that is kind of doing the same thing, but they do it with videos, and that's Lindsey Stroud's page. And let me see if I can get that page.
I cannot find Tom's.
I don't know, Tom.
Okay.
Tom's, I can't find it in.
Was that picture that you had that was posted in the Facebook group page, Tim?
Yes.
Did you have a hashtag on it or at all?
I don't. I have to go back and find it.
Yeah,
I have one of Tom looking handsome, holding a sample box.
All right.
I have one of Tom looking handsome, blowing vapor out of his face.
Yeah,
I have one
of
Tom looking handsome like he's going to rob a bank with his ample box shield thing on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I cannot find how many years you smoked, though.
Yeah. I remember seeing his. Check your phone.
Mine was on Insta.
Oh, there you go. It's on Instagram.
Right on.
But you didn't post your mug in that shot, just the paper, huh?
Tom's very clandestine like that.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Very sneaky.
He's a sneaky little bastard. Yeah, there's another Facebook group page, and I will add the link to the chat here. Let me pull the link. That's the wrong link. Wednesday night. Oh, Golden Oldies. There it is. All right, copy that, and I'll put it in there. You guys can go check it out. It is a page run by Lindsey Stroud, and it's called the Golden Oldies. And let me open it up real quick here. And they do the same thing, but they do it with videos, guys. So it's pretty much they're asking you to do a quick 30-minute clip, and let's see here we go.
Lonnie, they gave us the opportunity to use this platform to do our advocacy and vaping show. That's it. That's the bottom line. Right. That's all. We have nothing to do with Sample Box. We don't work for them. We don't stroke a check from them. We don't have their phone numbers. We don't talk to anybody on the inside. We're not executives who get paid to pretend that we're other people. There's no conspiracies. We are just four guys actually, who have guests on our show that talk about vaping and help other vapors, and we talk about advocacy and trying to save vaping. The questions can stop. We have nothing to do with it other than we were given the ability to use this platform for our show. That's the bottom line, bro. Yeah. That's it. That's where it ends.
Lindsey DD, congrats on quitting after 17 years.
Yeah, right there.
That's awesome.
Nice, 17 years since. Yeah, get Lindsey, if you don't belong to the Facebook group page or Wednesday Night Live, you can find us. Where can they find us, guys? That one.
What do you mean, where can they find us? I'm right here. Look at me. I'm right sitting right the fuck here.
Right here. No, I'm trying to find the link for her here. We're using that one, right?
That one right there. Yes.
There we go. I will put
Wednesday Night Live TV.
Yes. Just search for that group and you'll find us.
Yeah, you'll find us there. And I am going to do it right now so I don't forget. Oh, look at all the pizza pictures I have in there.
That's an Italian for
Yeah,
you.
there you go. I'll put it right there.
Speaking of Italian, while I was gone, I had some of the best chicken fettuccine
That's my favorite dish, bro. That's my favorite one.
And it was from Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut chicken fettuccine Alfredo was the best you've ever had. John, you should tell him there's something wrong there. There's something wrong there.
No, it's not a 30-minute clip. Jesus Christ, that would be a short movie. Did I say 30 minutes, guys?
You said 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's a movie. 30-second clip. I think we're okay. You guys think we're okay to play one of these?
Do it. Just do it.
What's the worst that happens?
It's not bad news.
No. All right, let me set up the.
Yeah, I gotta do the sound thing.
I gotta do the sound thing here. So hold on. Let me shut this off. Open it back up. Share screen. Add audio, and click that, and then stop. All right, here you go. These are basically 30 seconds clip. Just tell your story and how you quit smoking and what helped you. 30. Yeah, that you can do. I think they allow you a minute, right? I think it's a minute.
I did something similar a long time ago.
I live in Fenton, Michigan. I'm 54 years old. I smoked for 35 years. I quit smoking using vapor products and have vaped for 10 years now. I'm currently vaping Rainbow Crash in 27 milligram nicotine. Please don't take this miracle product away from us. Flavors saved my life.
Yeah, so it's basically jump in there. Let me see if I could play one more.
Becky, we've done disclaimers. We've opened the show with the same commentary.
Yeah, there's
there's not much we can do. I mean,
Yeah, well, I'm not going to worry about it. All right, here's another one.
And I'm 74 years old. And I started smoking cigarettes when I was 14. Finally, quit when I was just 9 years ago. I started vaping. Haven't looked back. Quit coughing. I like the flavors. If it hadn't have been for vaping, I would still be smoking. I had tried everything. I had tried the patches, the gum, hypnotism, Chantix. Nothing worked until I started vaping. So I sure hope it isn't back.
Very cool. I don't know. They might be doing a little bit of the editing. Yeah, it looks like they are. I was wondering. I just okay, that's two videos that are identical with the commentary on them. So I was like,
but it's great. I mean, the whole thing is you can put them together in a montage, and it's just. I mean, she's got hundreds, if not thousands, of people that did these things.
And I love seeing that older lady on there. It just goes to show that it's not just a bunch of teenagers that are out there vaping and using it.
People that make John look young.
Shut up.
Yeah, but the irony in a lot of this is that they completely ignore this. Like they don't address it at all, and they always. When I say they, I mean the people that scientists or the antis in any form. They'll say, "Well, we have no data that substantiates that it helps people to quit smoking. All you got to do is go to Lindsey's page, and I'm like, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are sharing their stories to how it saved their life, and they're like, well, we don't have any substantiated data. It's anecdotal. It ain't anecdotal.
Yeah, it's their proof that it's working. And hey, what's pretty neat when you see some of the older people on there. A lot of us have done a lot more to quit than say the average guy maybe 5 or 10 years down the road. Back then they had all kinds of stuff that we tried. I mean, did you do the rubber band thing, Tim, on your wrist?
No, I'll be the first one to admit I cannot attest to the fact that I tried the patches, gums, hypnotism, all the other NRT methodologies that were out there. I enjoyed smoking. I mean, it was just kind of it was a vice in my life, but I realized how unhealthy it was for me. And, with all the people around me in my life that were like, you should quit, you should quit, you should quit. I mean, I just vaping was really the first thing I tried to get away from it because it looked to me like it would be a natural transition from smoking because I'd still be able to kind of have that elemental activity in my life. And so I went from smoking to vaping. I never did all the extra shit.
You got lucky. I did everything except for the hypnotism thing. Because I just didn't trust anybody to hypnotize me. Not that they would do something to me, make me, jump up,
turn you into a chicken
or anything. But I did the patches. I did all the medicine and stuff, and I just didn't feel good with any of the prescription stuff that they gave us. And the patches didn't work for me because I just couldn't quit smoking, and I was using both, and I was getting sick. So it was good. I'm really glad that I found vape, and I'll play a couple more of these right here. The sound was coming through, right, guys?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My name is Peter Rocky. I live in Kingsville, Michigan. I'm 51 years old, and I smoked for well over 20 years. Tried quitting many times and punch until I started vaping. And I started vaping under my doctor's advice because I was exposed to tuberculosis. So I've been vaping now for about 6 years, and I quit smoking by vaping watermelon flavored vape juice. I pretty much stay with watermelon, bubblegum, things that taste like fruit, because I don't want to be reminded that I ever smoked.
Yeah, very cool. I hope you guys get over there and join the group and get a video posted up there. It'd be really awesome. Also, if you guys want to find that picture, it'll be on the Wednesday Night Live thing. I think we can post it a couple other places. I know that when it's posted on Facebook, it semi keeps the resolution. So if you decide to print it, it's still going to be okay. I know that a couple of people had issues printing it back in 2018 when we did it. Some people were trying to print them, but weren't coming out very good because they were using. It came out real. They had the regular size piece of paper, but when they printed it out, it was this tiny little. Remember?
Yeah,
it was like a
little meme size.
Yeah, it was like 540 by C or 640 by 480 or something. But yeah,
I have a question for Exquisite Bliss.
Yeah.
You said that you tried Wellbutrin, and that didn't work. Did it make smoking taste nasty to you? I know somebody who tried was on Wellbutrin for other reasons, and it actually caused them to quit smoking because it altered the taste. I'm just curious if you had that same experience. The fact that it didn't work for you.
Whose birthday is it?
Victor from Facebook.
Let's say Victor.
Victor from Facebook.
Oh,
So
well,
I'm guessing that would be the Facebook user.
What we got to do, guys.
I'm not singing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's whatever Wellbutrin does to people, it causes cigarettes to just kind of like taste rank and nasty, even worse than what we put up with when we were smoking. So I was just curious if it altered the taste.
I'm curious because some people said it altered certain foods they ate as well. Yeah, I can't remember what they said. They were like leafy stuff, lettuce and stuff like that tasted funny.
Possible.
Yeah. And they just couldn't eat lettuce and any leafy stuff. Well, anything that was plant form, it kind of made it taste really funny.
You don't want us to sing, Pels.
Yeah. Who does? Come on, we can sing it.
Happy birthday to you.
No.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Victor.
All those R's.
Happy birthday to you. There you go, Pels. That was. I'm not gonna make it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Sad to say, but I've accepted my fate.
No, as a solo, no, but as a group, us two together, I see us making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Tom was getting ready to bounce us off the show there for a minute.
I was, yeah. My ears were starting to bleed.
Tom could be our manager. He could be our manager. He could be our manager. Oh man, yeah, no, yeah. So it would be really cool. I love to see some people sign up over there. Let's see where are they at. Where are they at? How many people? Is this? Yeah, I think it's one of those you just have to like the page, right?
What do you mean?
To get part of that, to be part of it, you have to like it, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
I did something similar. I just can't. It was a Twitter thing that was going around, and I did one too, but it's not the same as those.
Yeah, you're right there. We see you. Don't know who you are, but we see you.
Yeah, we see you.
No, yeah, that doesn't always work. But Victor, if they're in the Facebook commentary, like above the video, there should be like a little link that says "click this link" or whatever. So that StreamYard gets access to your profile on Facebook, so we can see your name and your face.
When you do that, all you're doing is giving StreamYard permission, giving StreamYard permit. Facebook, you're giving StreamYard permission to use your logo, your face, and your name. So that's all.
Yeah, just go to the thing in the video, and you'll see the little link.
You are not signing up for StreamYard in any way.
The government's not listening to your conversations.
Yeah. Just ours. They're just
we're recording everything for the government. That's what we do.
Yeah, we found out that Biden actually watches the show. So
yeah,
keep informed.
He said, "Hey boys, I need you guys to get some important data for me."
So sadly, he keeps
convince everybody to click that link.
You know, it is what it is.
He watches the show. He just doesn't remember what he saw.
Right.
Oh, don't.
And that's why the sign is there.
Exactly.
All right, I had an idea. Now I don't
Did
know.
It hurt?
It did hurt because I was actually going to call a lawyer to see if this is possible, but I'm not sure if this would work, and I'm not sure how involved the community would get into it. But I was thinking, why wouldn't the consumers? We want to keep flavors, and I get it. Some of us say, some of these businesses aren't doing their part. Well, obviously, a lot of businesses are doing their part. From all the PTAs that were submitted, that just basically PMTAs that were submitted. So that shows me companies are trying to follow the rules and do their thing. And I was thinking, why don't we start a GoFundMe? You can tell me if this is stupid. Why don't we start a GoFundMe program for vape consumers only and dump money into this thing and pay for billboard advertisement all throughout the country?
For what?
Positive stuff on vaping.
Will they allow us to advertise? You can't advertise positive.
No, you're not. As long as you don't have a stake in the company and you are a consumer, what stops you? How could they stop you from putting a billboard up that says positive things about vaping? Anything that was positive on there instead of all the negativity billboards all over the country that everyone has to see. What stops us from doing it?
I think it's a great idea. I just don't know if because I'm sure that has to be approved, and I'm wondering if we'd even get past the approval process. Past the approval process in terms of what they want broadcast out along their highways and freeways.
Right, you're right. But I mean, as far as the billboard companies are concerned, they don't care as long as they're getting money for advertisement on these billboards. A lot of times I go by a lot of them that are just empty. There's nothing on there. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's why I came up with this idea. I drove by the one and I looked at it. I was like, this is empty. Why couldn't a consumer put up the money? And because you could do the same thing. Because what's his name do that with the newspaper? Didn't he run ads in the newspaper? And he got away with it because I forget who it was. It was one of the big guys, reviewers. Actually,
we can see in Victor now. Now we can see.
Yeah, there you are, Victor. Yep. Yeah, they actually ran a full page ad on vaping and stuff. But I don't remember who it is. If it comes to me, I remember. But he paid for the ad, and it was pro vaping and all this. So I just thinking to myself, as long as the only problem I think we would have is we'd have to somehow prove that every single person donating to this cause doesn't have any stake within vaping company.
I just feel like if it's a local municipality or the VDOTs or whatever, they're going to look at whatever's being advertised, and they're going to be critical if it starts to venture into a situation where they realize they could be dealing with a lot of protest about it.
Also, it's not as cheap as you might think, John.
Oh, I know.
Hey, Madison.
It's not cheap.
It's about $5,000 for 4 weeks for a large digital here in Wisconsin.
Well, digital, yeah.
And $321 for 4 weeks for a smaller poster.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something we could do that would be a little bit more impactful rather than trying to see if we can't snake the advertising game. And because I don't see, I guess I should say from experience of driving down freeways and highways, you don't see a lot of that type of stuff where people are like,
though, you read those. Don't lie to me, Tim. As you get older,
I honestly don't read them. I'm too busy looking forward. 10 and 2, bro. Trying to make sure, I'm not going to get in any accidents. There's lots of weirdos on the road.
I read all of them. I don't know what it is. I've been doing that since I've been a kid. I'll just like McDonald's, Taco Bell, and I'll just see them, and I'll just start reading them. But I think we could get away with that, though, as far as whether it's a billboard, a newspaper ad, or an advertisement on a website or whatever. I mean, as long as we're just consumers and don't have any stake within any of the companies, I think we should be allowed to do that. It's just like us walking around and telling our stories or talking to people in the supermarket that ask us about vaping.
That might not actually be a bad idea. It's actually depending on, I mean, obviously it's expensive, but like stuff like what Lindsey posts up, have a picture of like, the person,
right,
with that little snippet from their story that says, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm 54 years old. I quit smoking using vaping or something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
Start that.
Yeah, I think as long as the law says you can't advertise for a vapor product if you have a stake in a company. Well, we don't have any stake in a company, so I was figuring, why couldn't we get away with doing that? With our own money, and just post and have those kinds of billboards or smaller signs posted, or newspaper ads, or spots on certain popular websites, stuff like that.
I mean, the only thing I would have my reservations about would be how quick would someone protest it and try to get it taken down. And then if they say, well, we've had too many complaints about this billboard, and then these people dumped all this money into expectations of it running for a period of time, and now it has to get yanked. They're not going to give you your damn money back.
Yeah, we'd have to talk to a lawyer about it, or Greg.
And that's going to cost you $300, $400.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it will. Nothing's free. Anytime you talk to a lawyer, the clock.
HOA can't help you in this situation.
Yeah. Well, who is the HOH guy here? That would be Tim.
Yep.
Of the Wednesday Night Live show. Are you the HOH here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know if that was possible. I think it'd be kind of neat and unique, and I think it would kind of bring the community closer together, knowing that they're involved in this together, and have something that's going to be nationwide, not something just in one little city or one town, but something that's spread out.
What about like a mailer or something? Like a mass mailer. Where like a little brochure, like a 3-page leaflet brochure with like information about vaping with links to studies that we can back up with quotes. We don't have to put pictures of people vaping on it. We can keep it very graphically neutral, and then do like a mass mailing. I mean, like I'm sure you can acquire lists or something, that just gets sent out. We get it printed. I'm sure if you do like media mail or something like that, it's not 55 cents each one or something like that.
Right.
And then, your damn mail person just drops them in everybody's mailbox. It'll be just like, it'll end up in the junk mail cycle, but, something like that could reach people personally that might be interested in reading it,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do something like that. That might be, we could put it together and try to figure out what content we want on it.
Right, and just keep it, like you said, don't keep the pictures of vaping out of it, and just you gotta have clickbait right on the front of the envelope.
Keep kids completely out of the equation. Don't even bring them up as being something that that is one of the reasons that they're attacking vaping or using as an excuse for vaping. Keep it to the adult sector and just say X number of adults use vaping to quit smoking, and vaping's come under fire for a lot of unjust reasons, and then say here's information about vaping and how it is better, something like that. I mean, maybe we need to get together with some kind of a marketing person that can help us sort of put it together. Maybe something like that. Figure out what the most convenient way to do mass mailings are, without access to. Because really, at this point, we're not trying to target a specific demographic. We're just trying to spread the message.
Yeah,
I would like to answer that question.
It's $1 million question.
Because here in the U.S., it's all about the dollar. In the UK, it's actually about health.
Well, it's still about the dollar there.
Version.
It's still about the dollar there.
That's the simple version.
Yeah. It's technically the government spending less on Medicare or Medicaid.
Yeah, I would say if you want to put it in more blatant, simplistic terms, it's the difference between the private healthcare system and the public healthcare system community. So
changed.
Medicine. But to finish my point, in the UK with the public health system, they're not influenced by large industries that influence the decisions that are made about your health. It's about community public health and getting people not to be sick and addicted. So they do support vaping.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it's not run by the big pharmaceutical companies.
You want to handle the one from the Gooby Gobbler?
Can someone please tell me if shaking the vape juice makes the flavor taste better because all I taste is the oils? Well, there's no oil in e-liquid. Yeah. Okay, it's a water-soluble form. It's 4 ingredients: nicotine, VGPG, and flavoring, and they're all water-based chemicals, so it's not oil-based. Shaking it doesn't necessarily make it taste better. It can help with steeping and allowing the flavors that are like multi-layered, like if you have a complex juice like strawberry, peach, mango, it can sometimes help to get the combinations of flavors to congeal a little bit better. But you would normally shake it in conjunction with steeping it, which means that you're letting it rest for a period of time to allow it to kind of ripen, I guess is the word. But there's no oil, so that verbiage is incorrect.
Oh yeah, it's true. Welcome, Maddie. We missed you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, I got noise canceling headphones for the office, so this is the first time I'm using it on here.
I was going to say, what happened to the pink ones?
I have them right next to me because these are only at 10%. So when they get low, I'll probably have to swap out.
Yeah. Okay. How's everything going?
It's going pretty good. Today's Lord Vader's birthday. He turned 5.
Woo! 5. Tom,
yeah, he starts kindergarten next week.
You remember 5, Tim?
I don't specifically. I do have memories from when I was very young. I can't tell you if it was during the. I remember we left Ohio when I was 5, so that part I remember.
Did you have a Star Wars themed birthday party?
No, we're going to do his birthday this weekend, and then he also goes to kindergarten next week. So
yeah.
So big changes for him this month.
How's the baby?
She's getting big. I'm pretty sure she eats babies for breakfast because how big she's getting. Her fat rolls have fat rolls.
That's good. It's good to hear. You have since you're here, you have any CBD news? Some Delta 8 news? I know
No.
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm just
Just tell
No,
him
I've
tell him
been-
to F you, Maddie.
I've been too preoccupied with work, with getting my
Babies.
certification, the baby, the kids.
Poop.
You know.
Baby poop.
Well, not so much that, but yeah. She doesn't like to sleep by herself.
No, nobody does. I got used to it, but I don't like
Victor, I'm eternally young. I'm young here and young here.
Yeah.
So, you know.
All right, I'll tell you his age, Victor. Get ready. I hope you're sitting down. Tim is 73 years old.
That's right.
All that good clean living he does.
Yeah, right.
John is 110.
110.
Yes.
Yeah, John's 110. I'm 73.
Yeah.
It's all the plastic surgery that's
Yeah.
really kind of helped me keep this youthful look.
Yeah, before we started the show, me and Tim, we hit the the best LA doctors out there and got some work done. I got my nose bigger because it was so small. I was like, I need a bigger nose. I want more of that Roman Greco nose, so I went and got a bigger nose.
I used to be the poster child for the show Botched.
Tim had a military haircut, so he got extensions done. So we did our work. And
No, Tim
Tom-
did not
Tom-
have a military haircut. He lost his hair and he was going bald, and he
Oh.
felt sensitive about his male pattern baldness. He got hair extensions.
Yeah, there you go. And Tom really needs to get some work done. He's thinking about it.
No,
He should
I'm
really
gorgeous
get
as
some
is.
work done
I
on
don't
that.
need nothing.
Oh. So what else is going on, Madison? Nothing. See you back to vaping. Zero.
No, I got 3s, and I've so I like my bubble gum still.
Of course, yeah, we all know about your bubble gums.
Of course, Pennywise is still my favorite. But man, I am really loving this My Undead Girlfriend.
What is it?
My Undead Girlfriend.
What's in that?
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's made by Director's Cut.
Director's
And it's My Undead Girlfriend, and it is an apple, pineapple, strawberry hard candy.
Wow, I might have to get me some of that.
Yeah, link us.
I don't know. I got a long time ago with the Vape Apocalypse with my.
Do they make an iced version?
I have no idea, and I don't like ice versions, so I don't really tend to look for it. So, but it surprisingly enough, I cracked it open, and
Who's
really
the
good.
manufacturer?
It's Director's Cut. So I don't even know if they're still around, and it's cute
Director's
because
Cut.
they're it's got like kind of like a movie caption because it says Director's Cut presents My Undead Girlfriend, and then it has a love story gone terribly wrong, and it has like a little movie quote off to the side. It's kind of a cute design for a bottle.
That'll attract only adults.
Yeah,
Yes.
And teenagers, because what teenagers don't love horror movies.
Yeah, it's available at who is this? Vape Society Supply.
Okay.
You know what? I think that's where I got a lot of my stuff was from Vape Society.
Yeah, I see it. They have Damien. They have a bundle you can buy, which for $36.
Yeah, 360s.
And then you get there's another bundle that's 240 mil. It's 460s. And then they have Evils in White, which is peach. Looks like mango. Tom doesn't want any of that.
Yeah, you don't
I'm out on the mango.
It's only 13. It's only 13 for they only have it in 0.
Zero. All of them?
Yeah, well, I'll go back and look. Evils in White is in 0. It's gummy rings, candy, peach, mango, citrus, fruit.
Yeah, it looks like they're all out. So it might be one of those companies that's getting cleaned out.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I got it before I got pregnant with Bella, and like that whole entire container I got all before I was pregnant with Bella, so I'm pretty set for
This
quite a
one's in
while.
6. They have this one in 6. So, anyway.
You know what, Luke? The red stuff is really, really, really good. That was one of my favorite Nick Salts was the Red's Apple Iced.
Yeah.
That shit is bomb. And for not for Tom, but for the mango fans, VGod mango bomb iced. Ho, ho.
Yeah, see, I'm
Get you
not a fan of
that. If
mango.
you can find it, get the VGod mango bomb iced. That stuff is boss.
Daniel promoting.
Yeah. Well, I know Daniel was a big Reds person. He was always promoting the Reds.
Yeah, I don't know if I tried the ice though. I don't know if I had tried the ice.
Yeah, the apple ice from Reds is fantastic.
I'm rocking some of this.
I
Loaded.
I am doing that too, Tommy boy.
Loaded cookie butter.
With the cookie butter people.
And from our friend Jabo,
Always
superb
superb.
white perch, white peach.
You still vaping that stuff, huh?
Well,
All right. Well, since we're playing the I'm
did buy
vaping this
some.
game, I'm doing the humble sweater puppets ice. It's like it's a melon blend. I think it's got
Is it sweater puppets or sweater puppies?
puppets.
Oh,
Puppets. Sweater puppets. I will tell you what's in sweater puppets.
He'll tell you.
oh, I know what's in sweater puppets.
Because you don't like what's in that.
It's
Oh,
got
you're
a
talking to
little bit
liquid. My
about
bad.
it.
My
It's
bad.
got a little mango in it.
It's mango, of
I'm
course.
out.
And it also has cantaloupe and honeydew.
Yeah, see, cantaloupes and honeydew are just kind of two of the flavors that I have a hard time with.
Mallory just made one that sounds absolutely phenomenal.
Jeez, just made
Butter
Butter
pecan.
pecan pie.
Mm-hmm.
See, I had to go. I walked away from the desserts and the pies and the
Yeah, but
cakes
that
and
one
all
just
that
sounds
stuff.
like for right after having Thanksgiving, hitting that a couple times just sounds like it would hit the spot.
or a cup of coffee in the morning.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Or Barista Co. I mean,
Yeah.
here's another
Yeah.
one from that director's cut. This is presents The Devil Inside.
Ooh,
Okay.
So it's a same theme. It's a horror film, and it says Ellis A. Posada por Diablo Misimo, and it's watermelon mixed berry green apple.
ooh.
Okay.
So they make some pretty interesting flavors, but I love these because it also has on there too. It's rated R. So they put the rating on there that you have to be an adult. So I thought that was kind of cool with this company's advertising.
Well, rated R is 18, right? Isn't it 18 or older? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think when I bought this, 18 was still
Yeah.
when you were
Right,
able
before
to.
T21 became a thing.
That juice is old. It's well steeped.
What's old? The juice she has?
Yeah. If it's,
What year was it? What was the born on date?
I don't think it has one on it, does it?
Oh, well then how do you know it's old?
Because I bought it like at least a year ago.
Oh, 3 year old. That's not bad.
That's not bad. Yours fine.
Yeah, I got stuff that's like at least 3 years old, but it's in a drawer.
Yeah, as long as you keep it in a cool, dark place.
Yeah,
It's in my basement.
It's in my basement.
It's in my
in the
basement.
safe with the batteries.
Well, there's no windows though, right? You don't have any windows to the outside world down there, do you?
I do. It's a partial walkout basement.
Oh, okay,
But
I
I
got you.
don't have to pay taxes on my basement.
Oh, okay.
There's free
Yeah.
square
Oh,
footage.
Okay.
That's all she cares about.
Not paying taxes.
Exactly. Yeah,
Who the
well,
fuck
yeah.
likes to pay taxes?
Or pay
Well,
less.
Illinois property tax is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, you guys get hammered over.
If you don't
there.
want to pay property tax, you
move.
just move to Vegas.
Well,
Yep.
I don't have to pay property tax in Illinois anyway, because if you're 70% or disabled vet, you don't pay property.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good deal.
How about anybody named John? Would they get away with not paying taxes, property taxes?
No.
You double.
Somebody the other day was trying to convince me that we should invest in nothing. Nothing against this place, but they were like, we should invest in property in Detroit. and buy homes in Detroit and remodel them. I looked at him like, are you fucking crazy, dude? I go, why don't you just throw your money in the garbage can?
You know, I mean, if you're going to go with this whole advertisement scheme thing with vaping, you know what we should do is we should create a digital currency called Vapecoin.
Ooh.
Say it again. Repeat that whole entire sentence.
Create a digital currency called Vapecoin.
Okay.
And then we could be passing it around. I mean, because, you know.
And use those coins to buy vape and make it really hard for someone that isn't of age to purchase those coins. And you can kind of keep traps because each individual would have to register for those coins as an adult. And then use those coins to buy the e-liquid. That keeps it out of kids' hands. And you could do an electronic transfer at a vape shop.
But the studies show that the kids are not buying the vapes, that they're getting them from their people that are old enough to get it for them.
But we're eliminating that whole thing by just taking them completely out of the picture by having our own currency that can be
still find a way.
You know, they'll still find a way, but then we can say, hey, look, right here, you know, obviously, you know, they're not getting it. They're getting it from someone else, which I still don't understand. I get how the parents want to defend their children. I get that. I was a parent. They did make a mistake, but I still made my kids responsible for what their actions were. These parents that are like, oh, they're getting this vape stuff. Well, find out who's getting it for them. Find out what store is doing it. Go after them. Stop going after me, Tim, and everybody else that's using this product to stay alive and stay healthy.
And that's been their answer all along is let's move over to the nanny state mentality and let's just have the government prohibit it or shut it down completely, and that'll stop the kids from getting it. Surprise, motherfuckers. The kids are smart. They're going to get it through the back channels, the Snapchats and the social media networks. They're going to buy it from all these weirdos that are going to open their trunk and you never know what's coming out. The kids are not dumb. The kids are probably smarter technologically than the parents will ever be.
All right, Maddie. If you were going to name these coins, what would you name them?
She said.
Did she?
Vapecoin.
Yeah, we call Vapecoin.
Just call them Vapecoins? I thought you were going to come up with something more elaborate.
Why do we have to get creative?
I was kind of looking at it from the standpoint is that, you know, cryptocurrency has had this negative thing, and then all of a sudden cryptocurrency has been huge in the media. And Dogcoin originally started out as a joke.
Yeah.
And then look at how that filtered out. And then you had these huge major investors start dumping into it. Well, I mean, if you got Vapecoin out there, I mean, wouldn't it be really funny if we had these huge major investors just start buying the crap out of Vapecoin?
I like the fucking idea. Everybody's got a fucking cell phone. You don't have to have cash with you. Just go over to the vape shop, get your shit, fucking scan it on the fucking thing with your phone, comes right out of your fucking Vapecoin. You know who purchased it. And yeah, well, there's always that person that doesn't want their information out there. That's the only people I think, you know, but still, I think it'd be a great fucking thing. I think it'd be a great thing. Investors out there, talk to Madison. Madison's got the idea. I like it. I like the idea, and it can be set up. I don't know. Can you use Bitcoins in a store? Some stores have it on websites.
It depends. I mean, who you use it. I mean, look at for a long time, or look for a little bit there. Tesla was, you know, offering for you to use Bitcoin to buy their cars. I mean, I think it just depends on who recognizes it as a currency and who doesn't. I mean, where does really currency get its value nowadays? It's not really off of precious metals. It's off of who recognizes it, who wants to use it, how much is out there filtering it, and who has the most of it.
Yeah. You think
So-
people would use vape coins? Or... Sam?
What?
You think-
Would I invest in and use Vapecoin?
Yeah.
I mean, if it had a purpose, if it had a viable purpose and means for the reason for actually acquiring it, other than it just simply being a tradable commodity that allowed me to invest and gain. Now I'm not saying I would shy away if it had a positive reaction like that, like investing in it, meaning you had more value in what you were holding since day one when you acquired it. You know, obviously the time to get it would be right out the gate. You know, unless it got all this hype. You know, and people are, you know, it opens up as being, you know, overvalued. But I think I would like it to actually have some viable functionality associated to it that was a positive thing for the vape community. Meaning, like you said, if it was something that could be utilized as a currency to acquire vape gear / e-liquid, whatever, and it allowed us to filter out the ability for kids to directly utilize it to get it for themselves or snake the system somehow to buy stuff with it.
Yeah,
Well,
I would like it to be function.
5% of it goes to harm reduction.
I mean, if you think about it too, I mean, to get an investment account, you usually have to be an adult to have an investment account. I mean, you could have an adult open one for you and manage it for you. But to open your own investment account, you'd have to be an adult right out the gate, and you would purchase it through there. And, you know, it would just be interesting. But I just found it would be kind of ironic if we did what Dogcoin did, as it's a joke coin for, you know, instead of hashtag, you know, vape, it's Vapecoin. And you've got Karens who are wanting to make money, you know, off the quick stock market, and they're having to go out and buy Vapecoin.
That'd be hilarious.
I just find it would be funny that way.
Karen's fighting over fucking Vapecoin, dude.
Yeah.
Can you imagine it makes the whole Reddit, Twitter trend or whatever you started up about Vapecoin and stuff like that? Oh, everybody's buying Vapecoin, Vapecoin, and then it like flips the script of like, you know, of this negative thing as we're making money off of it.
Yeah, I think we could have a percentage of it go towards, you know, research or whatever, you know, so there is, like Tim says, there's something going back into it. So you know, a percentage of it can go into research to make sure it's safe and all this to keep everybody happy. That some of the money is going into some sort of research but I think it's a brilliant idea. I think you got a good idea there.
Let's work with it. We'll talk more about it.
I'll send my people to talk to your people.
The other thing I was thinking of too is you were talking about billboard signs, Tim.
Yeah, you know, no, that was John's idea, not mine.
No, but how people don't read billboard signs. Well, I've been following the whole events in Afghanistan. And the first thing that popped up when I saw for Afghanistan was off of a billboard advertisement with Joe Biden licking an ice cream and then hiding behind his thing. So if nobody's reading billboards, that's the first news article that pops up. So I think it's not so much people don't read billboards. I think they have to be like this really crazy, off the wall, funny thing, or just something so hilarious as an eye grabber to.
A picture of an old man and it says, "I'm not a kid. I love flavors." People would read that. They would read that. Some
picture of you. You could be the old man.
Why do I have to be the old guy?
Because you
look the oldest. Out of all of us, you look the oldest. And it was your idea for the billboard.
I don't see that.
Coins, billboards, and coins. That's the two hot things.
To Luke's point earlier, the reason why you don't hear anything about kids and alcohol, even though they report on the numbers, is because alcohol is taxed by the state, and it's a huge source of revenue for the state. So they're not going to talk about it and how it impacts the kids, even though you can find data that supports that kids die from drinking every year, to get addicted to alcohol every year, binge drink, do all this dumb shit. But you're never going to hear about it because it's taxed. And then to Exquisite's point, we did too. We had a thing called the Ramp, and we had a group of kids called the Grits. The Grits were the denim jacket wearing, denim pants wearing, Leonard Skinner, Allman Brother, Molly Hatchet fans, all the Southern Rock kids that smoked. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, at that time, John would remember, it was high school. As we were coming up through high school, I think the smoking age was 16 at that time.
Yep.
So that's why they kind of allowed it. And it's probably pretty hard to monitor who the fuck was 16 out on the ramp, you know. But yeah, we had one too.
Yeah, on that alcohol thing, I remember this because it blew me away when I saw it. But 23% of all beer sales in the United States are consumed by minors. 23% of all beer consumed in the United States.
Doesn't surprise me because alcohol is so prevalent in the home. In most homes, it's readily available. Mom and dad typically are not. This is not a slant on moms and dads not taking care of the kids. I'm just saying in today's day and age, it would seem that mom and dad are a little checked out of their kids' lives a lot of the time. So when mom and dad go to do their stuff and hang out or, you know, go to their little parties or whatever, the kids are sneaking into the liquor cabinet and trying shit out, you know. They're like, sauce is right there. Unless dad's marking the bottles.
But then we had the water and the vodka. And
I never became a liquor drinker, so my dad's shit was never under assault from me anyway.
My dad didn't drink beer. It was just Seagram's. Seagram's, vodka, and wine, and that's about it. And so I became a big Seagram's fan right at the beginning. 7-7. That was my dad's drink. So I got used to doing that, and that bottle was always. It was never at the same level. No matter an hour later, you go back, and it was always moving around. So I was like, yeah, we could take some of this. Yeah, I like your idea, Morgan. Madison, I'm sorry.
Morgan.
I got Madison and Morgan. I got Morgan in my mind.
Hey.
Look at her. She's mad. Hey, you've been gone a while. When are you going to come back with your CBD talk? I think we need a Delta update.
See, like CBD or like just cannabis in general?
Cannabis would be good.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Whatever, yeah.
Oh,
we want you back. We want you back.
I had a crazy trip like 2 weeks ago. So
see, you should have went on live with us that
Well,
night.
Brian can't seem to get his act together and get out of work early enough to make the show, so.
Yeah.
I was, I haven't done anything in so long.
Yeah,
I cracked open one of my things and didn't realize it was a lot higher of a concentrate, and yeah. And then I watched Midnight Gospel for the rest of the night, and I don't know what it is. Every single time I have to watch that.
Well, you flushed yourself out. It's been so long, and then you're tired and everything, and then you go and hit that, and it's just like your first time.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'll tell you what, listen, if you want a really good show to watch while you're completely high out of your mind, Midnight Gospel is just, it's enlightening. And I've also noticed that children like the show too.
I don't even know what that is.
So it's a TV show on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix. Okay.
And basically it's this guy, it's a cartoon. It's this.
Oh, fuck no.
It's this guy who does these podcasts in these multi-dimensional worlds through this virtual thing. And he puts his head in, and I'm not even going to describe the shape, that it's crazy. But anyway, he goes there and he does these interviews in these different worlds. Oh yeah, it is. And so, but he goes in these multi-dimensional worlds and he interviews, and they have these philosophical conversations. And it's just this huge, like, it's almost like listening to a podcast of just two people completely high out of their minds, ranting about the world's mysteries, except for you're watching it on a cartoon, and it could be he's in a world where they're all cats, or they're all like sea creatures and trying to do whatever. And was that the one of them? It's coming off the top of my head. I remember was he's talking to this guy. It's a fish in a fish bowl in a suit who's rescuing cats. And
definitely a show for people who get high.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's fantastic. You should watch it not being high, because the things they do talk about in there are just, they're really profound. But when you're like super high, you're like hyper focused. And so it's just like, whoa. Like, so when I got high like 2 weeks ago and completely had this really weird trip, of course, I watched Midnight Gospel, and he was talking about like, oh, having this bad trip is like because it's representing and bringing out all this anxiety you have. And I had this huge anxiety with work, and I'm like, oh my God, this totally makes sense. I should totally let go of this. I'm like, so that, like, the show is completely enlightening. I've watched it a million times and I still learn new stuff.
Oh, we are at the 1 hour mark, so that means it's time for Tim and his news.
Oh, son of a gun!
Are you not ready?
I'm ready, man. I had a hell of a day. You didn't even ask me how I was in the beginning of the show. You completely skipped over that segment. That's okay. It's in the past now. No, that was an hour ago when we had that opportunity. You lost your shot. You had your moment. You had your moment. You let it get away from you.
I was just excited to see Tom.
You were more excited about Tom's stupid FU sign than you were about our well-being. Okay, we get it now.
All right, let me give you your bumper. Hold on. There it is.
Tap, tap, tap. Here we are. Woo. All right, so we're going to tap some papers. I had one hell of a day today. What is that?
No, that was just,
what was that?
That was the sound from the computer. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. It sounded like I was going to get eaten by a monster or something, or maybe a goldfish in a suit in a tank or something. I don't know. I couldn't quite tell. I had a heck of a day. So I did have to race home and kind of put these notes together, but they'd still tap the same, whether you do them quickly or whether you do them slowly. So I got 3 for you. I got 3. Always try to do 3. I felt I'd be cheap. I'd be chincing out on people if I did less than 3. So let me share my screen. Hey, y'all. Share the screen. Share the screen. Share the screen. There we go.
Yeah.
And I need to get rid of that. All right. So this is from medium.com. I've never seen anything from this source before. I'm going to guess it's probably opinion pieces, op-eds, things like that. But the first one I wanted to talk about was, why do opponents of vaping want to dismiss the science? Why is it that they never want to talk about the positive benefits of vaping and how it's helped so many people? Instead, they just completely turn a blind eye. You heard Paul talk about it last week. They try to get in the mix with the government. And they do not want to listen to the doctors. They don't want to listen to the medical profession that has done studies to show that vaping has a positive impact. So this article pretty much addressed sort of the two sides of the coin, right? So apparently, and I don't know when they actually did this, it said that there was a seminar series that was conducted about tobacco science. And they had people from both sides of the aisle, right? So the tobacco control community is a bit fractured right now. You've got some researchers who are in the corner of vaping and will say that it has benefits and it saves lives. And then you've got another contingent who have some ulterior motives and motivation, let's just say. And they think that it's dangerous for the kids, and that tends to be their root argument, that it's about the kids and it's always about the kids. They really don't have any other reason. And then they'll throw out the stupid argument that it stunts growth or, can harm the brain or whatever. But you'd think that anybody involved in the discussion about vaping would want to know more about the science of vaping. Like, is it good? Is it bad? Let's look at hard data, but we're all wrong. There are a lot of protagonists. Is that the right word? Protagonist, antagonist, protagonist, antagonist, protagonist. Anyway, the people that are against vaping don't really care to hear any more about the science. Well, let's just say not the science that we want them to invest their time in looking into. They rather talk about the would, could, should, maybe, might science that always comes out, or Stanton glance. So a bunch of academics had a seminar series not that long ago, and part of it included a debate about the conflicts of interest in tobacco science. So the two primary people that were involved in this back and forth, or at least during one of the heated debate segments of that seminar series, was Joanna Cohen. She's she works for Bloomberg, so that should tell you all you need to know. The Bloomberg professor of disease prevention argued that journals such as Tobacco Control, for which she is an editor of that publication, are correct in refusing to publish research sponsored by the industry. Most specifically, data and science provided by Juul, and those involved should be prohibited from attending scientific conferences. So the one thing that they would rather censor completely, or they feel is entirely biased, and we did an article on this a couple weeks ago about how Juul put up a bunch of money to pay for a bunch of studies, and then behind that paid a lot of money to publish those studies in medical publications. And then we went through the whole thing about how some of the people that were doing the peer review of those particular studies kind of smelled Juul's name all over it because it was all very slanted. Anyhow, Joanna Cohen, she doesn't think that the industry studies should be allowed to be presented as evidence, as any kind of positive evidence. On the flip side of that, you got this guy named Kenneth Michael Cummings, and he's a professor at the Medical University of South Carolina. He supports the involvement. He basically said science should be judged on its merits and not censored. He believes that companies that are involved in harm reduction methods should absolutely be involved in the conversations. So to his point, I agree. I do think that companies that market or work in the sector where they're promoting vaping as an alternative or a tobacco harm methodology, if they have studies to back up the product that they're selling, then by all means their opinion should be heard, specifically if it's coming from that sector. Obviously, it's going to be mostly in the favor of vaping, but he thinks that it should be included. So popular opinion based on this debate that kind of went on is they felt that Kenneth Michael Cummings actually did a much better job in the debate, and he made stronger points, and not almost immediately, or at least not that long after what appeared to be Cohen kind of losing the debate, she did write a letter, and I wanted to read the letter. She wrote the letter to the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids. This is the email. She said, "Good morning, Matt. I hope you and your family are well. I'm looking for an expert who can help me effectively respond to arguments about not allowing tobacco company research in journals and not allowing tobacco company employees to attend scientific conferences. Those in favor of tobacco company publishing conference attendance are calling the above policies censorship, and they talk about open science, quite powerful on the face of it. I thought you may be aware of people, companies who are very good at crafting message framing that resonates well and who don't work for tobacco companies. Or if you could recommend who I might ask, that would be greatly appreciated." So she realized she didn't have much of a solid argument in terms of the censorship argument that was being kind of propped up by Mr. Cummings. So she reached out to somebody to try to find an advocate or a devil's advocate that could find a marketing company or a consultant that would help her to come up with messaging that would go, that would refute all that and how it's not censorship and all that stuff. So down here it said the aim of suppressing science appeared to make this, the professor who opposes conflicts of interest turns for help. specifically to find a PR consultant. So you'd be interested to know that Bloomberg funds Cohen specifically. Bloomberg also funds Johns Hopkins and Tobacco Free Kids. One example would be that Tobacco Free Kids, and this is a reason why they deny the science, is that Tobacco Free Kids got a 3-year, $160 million grant from Bloomberg just to oppose vaping in the year 2019. So that's the kind of money that goes up and goes into the pockets of these particular companies. So why would they want to hear any of the positive science? Their mission is Bloombucks, a lot of moolah to go ahead and oppose vaping vehemently, regardless of what messaging is out there. Bloomberg has also donated over $3 billion to Johns Hopkins University. Over $3 billion. Wrap your mind around that figure.
Chump change.
It's for him. It's chump change. For him, it's chump change. But that's the kind of money that we're up against in terms of that. So they're always going to turn a blind eye. But supposedly Cohen is not a hardline opponent of vaping, despite the fact that she's against industry studies being published and industry people coming to these seminars and speaking. She's not a hardline opponent of vaping, but she kind of hangs on the whole thread that due to the lack of research on vaping, she cannot necessarily take a very pro stance towards it. But this does not also excuse her desire to reject or discredit science that sheds light on the debate of how to regulate e-cigarettes. So she completely kind of ignores that too. She seems to fall into the camp of banning it or going into prohibition. Tobacco companies, more recently too, have shifted into support the alternate nicotine delivery systems to offset the decline in smoking rates. So they're well aware of the fact that even with everything that's going on and all of the negativity around vaping, is that cigarette sales and people actually smoking, the rates have decreased quite significantly in the last few years. So ultimately, they're going to go ahead and they're going to advocate on the side of tobacco harm reduction. So we all know that IQOS has come out and some of these other things. So they're going to obviously promote that and advocate for it. Matt Myers of Tobacco Free Kids thinks that research funded by tobacco companies cannot be treated as credible due to their history of distorting and lying when it comes to the truth. I think he's got some argument there. I think specifically when you're talking about tobacco use and how the big tobacco industry suits got in front of the Congress and kind of like peddled and told everybody that smoking was safe. But they're going to, it's all about money. So they're going to say whatever they can to get people to buy their product. Cohen still publishes work by Stanton Glantz, who has a tainted history of data in the vaping sector, and she still publishes, and the work that she publishes by Glantz is highly questionable. So in that breath, I think the statement that was trying to be made in the article was that they accused the large tobacco companies who were advocating on the side of their tobacco harm reduction products and claiming they're a bunch of liars and they're going to make them all look like gold. You've got the other side using very weak, argumentative people. Glantz had studies retracted, and a lot of his studies are not really, they don't use very solid scientific methodologies. So a lot of people would call his results into question, and he's going to say a bunch of stuff to slant it and make it look really bad. So they're kind of both doing the same thing. They're standing behind bullshit commentary. Despite growing evidence that bans drive more people to smoke, which is, we did an article on that not that long ago, specifically San Francisco, where they did a post study because San Francisco was one of the early cities to ban vaping, that kids increase their smoking rates. So the harder you make it to get, the positive method, you're going to drive people back to smoking. But people like PAVE and Tobacco Free Kids, they still lobby for state and local bans of vaping. Like, they don't even take that news into consideration. So they deny that one too. They deny the fact that the numbers show that more people are smoking because they're banning vaping, yet they don't seem to care about that. It's still, let's trudge forward and ban vaping, ban vaping, ban vaping. Nobody seems to listen to that science at all. And the FDA, and I don't know what this all means. I need to do a little reading. Maybe John, you can comment or something like that. The FDA is due to respond next month about whether or not e-cigarettes should or can remain on the market. So apparently, I guess Zeller and his little clan are they've been doing a bunch of studies and stuff like that, and they're gonna weigh it out. They're gonna tell us whether or not vaping should be federally banned or not. I guess that's going to be their recommendation. So the takeaways on this one was the science deniers in this case have an agenda, and they'll always deny the science. It would seem that the prohibitionists only seem to care that smoking is more important than tobacco harm reduction. So anyway, but that's a common theme. The antis will always deny the science. Yep. All right, so let's move on to something that's a little positive. Would everybody like some positive news?
Yay! Yeah, I'm gonna give you a yay.
Let's talk about the Mayo Clinic. Let's talk about the Mayo Clinic. Sorry for all the pop-ups and the craziness that's going on. But the Mayo Clinic, I think everyone is aware of at least who they are. But if you could say one thing about the Mayo Clinic, they're probably one of the more respected medical organizations / facilities / whatever that exist. The Mayo Clinic is very highly respected and highly regarded. I think the article kind of speaks exactly to what the article title speaks to exactly what this news is, and that the Mayo, this was said before, I'm sure people heard about this when COVID kind of first kind of like ended up on everybody's doorstep, that they were saying that people who smoke and vape were more susceptible to catching COVID. There was a direct link that because of vaping and smoking, you compromised your lungs, therefore your immune systems were much lower, and that you were more susceptible to actually contract COVID. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was New York or Pennsylvania or one of those states that was up a little bit north, that when they were going through the process of determining the prioritization of people who were to get the vaccination for COVID, that smokers were actually given priority in front of a lot of other people who may have fallen into groups that probably should have gotten it earlier than them. But because people who smoke, they said, well, you guys are more susceptible to getting COVID, then we're prioritizing your vaccinations. So anyway, now they just gave all these people vaccinations, and they actually were, according to this article, or at least to their studies, that people who smoke cigarettes had a decreased risk in contracting COVID. So the largest study of its kind to date conducted at Mayo Clinic after studying the medical records of about 70,000 patients found no link between vaping and the COVID-19 diagnosis. That in fact, they were not more susceptible. There's no direct link. That it didn't matter if you smoked or if you vaped. You had no specific link to being more susceptible to contracting COVID. It was a retrospective study of 69,264 patients over the age of 12 and smoked cigarettes or vaped, and were given care at the Mayo Clinic between September 2019 and November 2020. The study, so it's kind of recent. The study was reviewed by the Institutional Review Board, and the results were published on prestigious medical journals in June of 2021 this year. So this kind of news been around for a couple months anyway. The bottom line determination was that they could find no evidence to support that current or former e-cigarette users were more likely to be diagnosed with COVID. The Mayo Clinic study analyzed clinical cohort and used self-reported e-cigarette use data that was confirmed and documented in electronic health records logged by a clinician. COVID diagnosis was also confirmed using a diagnostic PCR test. The study also employed, I'm going to read a bunch of fancy terminology, which people may not understand what that means. And I'm blonde, and I don't understand it either. So we're in the same boat.
Welcome to his world.
The study also employed logistic regression models to assess whether current e-cigarette use was associated with an increased risk of COVID. So those that used only e-cigarettes were not more likely to have a C19 diagnosis, whereas only smokers had a decreased risk. So people who vaped and vaped only, they found zero link or any proof that those people were as likely, less likely, more likely. It was just a flat line. Like they could determine nothing to say that people who vaped were at any higher risk of contracting COVID. However, if you were a smoker, odds were probably a little bit higher, but it was a decreased risk. Get this, decreased risk from people who didn't smoke at all, non-smokers. So people who never smoked had more of a chance of contracting COVID than someone who actually smoked cigarettes. Go figure that one. The authors noted that while a previous meta-analysis found that compared with never smokers, current cigarette smokers appeared to be at a reduced risk of C19 or COVID-19 infection. Another systematic review, this threw me off. It popped up in like a 2-sentence thing, and it was never mentioned again. It said another systematic review found that both current and former smoking significantly increased the risk of severe COVID-19 and death. That may have been the report that came out, but there was probably not much to back it up, that they really couldn't prove it. So I think that's what they're refuting, is that Mayo found this and this other report found something completely contradictory. However, in the battle of who do you believe, I would think the Mayo Clinic holds a lot of weight. Strangely, after the first logistic regression model, it was determined that current and former e-cigarette use was not associated to a COVID-19 diagnosis, and current but not former smokers were less likely to be diagnosed with COVID versus never smokers. So, even if you're smoking,
yeah,
go ahead and smoke them. Smoke them if you got them, because you're less likely to catch COVID.
Now, here's a question. There was a study that was posed out. Now, they didn't talk about vaping, but they only talked about smoking.
Okay.
And it had to do with the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
So the study, that you've seen with the immunocompromised people, that they were less likely to develop COVID antibodies after the 2 shots of Moderna and Pfizer. That's why they recommended the third one. Well, they also did a study off of smoking, and they found smokers were less likely to develop antibodies from the COVID-19 vaccine. And I'm curious if there's anything out there about vaping.
Well, I could try to dig something up on it. I don't know about that one. Not related here. This didn't address vaccines at all. It just addressed the fact that there was a study supposedly done quite some time ago that claimed that there was and it was all over the news.
Yeah, it was.
That there was a direct link with how people who vaped were more susceptible to catching COVID at that time. And so it was just another spin up to try to scare people away from vaping. Obviously, and then get your mommy pointing her finger at you going, you need to quit vaping. You're probably going to catch COVID easier.
But it's going to be only a matter of time that if they're talking about smokers needing a third dosage for the vaccine because they're not developing another antibodies off of it, it's a matter of time before vaping follows behind it.
Well, that's probably quite true. But it is interesting in its own right to know that people who are vaping, they can't find any specific link between the fact that people were vaping and that the people that were diagnosed with COVID, they found that there was an increased rate of people who were vaping that were the ones catching COVID. They found zero link between that. Now, what happens afterwards with the vaccines and the lack of the ability to build antibodies to fight it off, that's a whole other thing. So I'm sure they're probably looking into that as well, because now we're talking about people getting the vaccine who, quote unquote, never had COVID before that, right? But there were people, I think, that had COVID that were getting the shot as well. And I think, are we not seeing more cases of people reinfected? Now they've had the first one, and now they got the Delta variant. So clearly they need to do a study that's similar to the initial Mayo study, which says, okay, let's look at the reports of the people who are contracting COVID after the vaccine, and then we'll look and see if they're also smokers or vapors. And they can probably just put those two numbers side by side and see if the never smokers were getting it more than the non-smoker, or the non-smokers more than the vapors and the smokers. But I'm sure that will come out. It's going to take some time to build that data too. Yeah. But this was based on 70,000 people.
That's a lot. Too.
That's a lot of people. Normally you don't get lucky. You don't get that lucky. You might get a couple. 1,500, 2,000 people total. Let's finish. Let's wrap this one up. In the second logistic regression model, they determined that e-cigarette users were not more likely to have a COVID-19 diagnosis, with those who only use cigarettes had a decreased risk. So even after multiple rounds of the regression models that they were running, they found basically identical results. Fantastic. My takeaway was fantastic study refutes the link between vaping and COVID. However, the antis will always deny the science.
Yep.
So we know they're not going to listen to that either. Oh, no. All right. Advocacy. I could not find anything specifically that addressed any states or any kind of active calls to action. I did want to bring this one up only because I commented on this one in the group about a week ago when this ended up. Let me zoom that in. It ended up on Twitter, and I thought it was well worth the read. This is going to be hard to see. I don't know how big I can go. All right.
Oh, man, I missed my cue.
Why?
What you said.
Oh.
How big I can get it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And I was supposed to hit the...
That's what she said. Anyhow, this was a letter that was written to the head of the United States Postal Service by none other than Senator Rand Paul. As we all know right now, the final rule, or the rules of the USPS and carrying vape stuff, they have not published the final rule. Everybody's been kind of hanging on bated breath for this one. I don't really know what their holdup is. Maybe they're realizing they're losing a ton of revenue by not carrying all those vape products.
Yep.
Somebody finally realized and did some number crunching and saw how much it was going to impact them. Rand Paul has gone to bat for the vaping community before. He's one of the more outspoken senators in terms of, why are we knee-jerk reacting and banning something that, quote unquote, saves lives, right? It's tobacco harm reduction. There was a wonderful clip of him on Twitter. I think a lot of people saw it. A lot of people retweeted it, where when they were having the hearings surrounding what was going to happen to vaping from a federal perspective, he got up there and said, he didn't seem to understand why it was that we're going after vaping, which is helping a lot of adults quit smoking and potentially saving lives. He said, if we're really going to put forward any kind of legislation or crackdowns, we should be more heavily fining the people that are breaking the law, that are allowing the kids to get their hands on it. He did identify the fact that the kids are underage and it's illegal for them to acquire them anyway. So there's obviously not enough of a policing situation to monitor who these vendors are that are putting these things into the hands of kids, and that they should be fined more heavy rather than just outright ban something. He even noted, I think, in his commentary that banning doesn't really do anything other than drive people to a black market situation, which is potentially even more dangerous than the way things are right now. So I don't want to read the whole letter. We'll just read some excerpts. But Rand Paul wrote to Mr. DeJoy. He said, I write to forward the attached letter for a coalition of stakeholders that has raised concerns to me about the United States Postal Service proposed rule on the treatment of e-cigarettes in the mail. He actually kind of like echoes some of the same talking points that a lot of us have raised with regard to this particular ban at the federal level on USPS mail. In crafting the rule, I urge you to take into account the interest of Americans in rural areas who want to access vapor products. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has acknowledged that electronic nicotine delivery systems can reduce the use of combustible cigarettes and may be less harmful than traditional cigarettes. So a lot of people don't know Rand Paul is not just some blathering political idiot, even though there are people who don't like him, but he's a doctor. He's a doctor. So that in its own right holds a lot more weight than some guy who's just fighting for vaping. So he knows what he's talking about. For rural Americans residing far from brick and mortar stores that sell vapor products, the United States Postal Service is their most reliable means of accessing these harm reduction products. The science of addiction medicine suggests that if these Americans lose access to less harmful alternatives, they are likely to relapse, thereby increasing their risk of developing serious illness. So he's petitioning the head of the United States Postal Service to not follow through on this and to reconsider the fact that that the impact they could make on the public at large is far more negative than it is to fall in line in this particular case. Now, I don't know what kind of leverage DeJoy has. This was a congressional element that was passed effectively. I don't know that he can just stand up and say no, but we'll see. But these are the types of politicians. If you're a vapor, or you care about vaping, or you're someone who knows people who vape that don't smoke anymore, and you care that they're vaping and not smoking, these are the kinds of politicians that you would want to vote for to keep in office, because they'll fight on your side in that regard. It's a great letter. You can go find it on Twitter if you want to go read the whole thing. It's not very long. I would, if you're on Twitter, go leave Rand some nice commentary. You know, basically say thanks for standing up for vaping, Rand. This is round number 2. You're putting up the dukes for vaping. So that said, there's your advocacy. Now you got a senator advocating for us. So thank you, Rand Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
And that is your news.
We'll give him a clap. And all the aunties out there.
What's that?
And all the aunties out there.
Yeah, fuck you, aunties.
That's for the aunties.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Tom is having some internet problems. He was having them since we started the show. He kept getting cut off and on. He's not being kidnapped. He hasn't been kidnapped by Brian. You guys could stop leaving cheese at his door to try to trick him to come outside. He's just internet. He's having internet issues. So, correct? That's what I think he wrote, right, guys?
Well, that's what he said. He said his exact words before the show were, "My internet router is being a douche canoe tonight."
Douche canoe.
A douche canoe. That's what he said.
Yeah, I'm still got Maddie's idea running through my head. I wish we could
Vapecoin?
Yeah, that is such a brilliant idea. I think it would work. Everybody would be registered to buy vape. I mean, that's what they want anyway, but we'll do it on our own terms with our own company. And everybody would register with a source that they could trust, that it's not going to sell their information to the government.
Why couldn't the online vendors just start using Vapecoin as the currency of trade?
Well, you'd have to start one first.
No, you have existing vape companies switch over to accepting Vapecoin.
Yeah.
Why would you have to start creating new companies that only use Vapecoin?
Well, I want to profit from it.
Madison, you can go and buy things using Bitcoin. I believe you can buy things using Bitcoin on a bunch of different sites, can't you?
Yeah, there's countries too that now recognize Bitcoin as currency that you can use to pay your rent.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Bitcoins on any of the vape sites.
And you can make money off of it. I made money off of Bitcoin.
Right. You're right, Luke. That's exactly how Tom powers everything in his house.
What are you right?
He has a battery of hamsters that run in wheels that keep the internet up and his lights on.
Yeah. Although I think I'm closer to Tom than Brian is.
Yeah.
I thought you were. I thought.
Yeah.
But Brian is definitely, or Tom is definitely in between me and Brian, if not almost halfway. But I think Tom is closer to me.
Well, go check on him. Let's hold me up. No.
No. I'm not driving up to Wisconsin. Are you?
Nobody wants to go to Wisconsin. Nobody wants to go to Wisconsin.
Well, that's not true. I like going to Wisconsin. I just don't feel like driving to Wisconsin at nighttime. And I definitely don't feel like driving on the road with these morons here who've been locked inside their house and forgot how to drive.
Yeah, I noticed that here lately. I think a lot of people are back to work and in their cars. I think they have really forgotten how to drive, especially on the freeway.
I mean, they didn't know how to drive before.
Yeah.
And
now it's just worse.
It's really bad. And they didn't know how to time manage before. And now it's really bad with the time.
And I've noticed the aggressionness too. I've noticed more flip offs and fucking screaming back and forth at each other than normal. I think people have been at home too long and then getting in cars, getting on the freeway, and then just, I'm just waiting for the big fight on Highway 99. I could see like a mob of people fighting each other.
Why not just leave them at home and then you just don't have to worry about it? Stop dragging people out of their houses who don't want to be outside their houses.
I mean, that was the angle I was going for, but it turned into an actual job in an office. So
and you
I don't have a choice. I got to get up every morning and go.
Yeah, you got to put pants on now, Tim.
Yeah, I put my pants on just like everybody else, one leg at a time.
Well, I don't care how you put them on. You're putting them on because you're actually going to.
I was a Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I know.
Bruce Dickinson. We need more cowbell skit.
No. I don't wear pants to work, so.
You wear your skirts.
I don't wear skirts. I wear a dress, so it's really super easy to get dressed in the morning.
Are you back to going to work, Maddie? Or are you at home? You're actually going back into work now?
I mean, I'm not sure anymore.
How high are you right now, Madison?
I'm not. That's how utterly confused I am about things. Only select few of us are having to be to go back in, but most people aren't, especially with real estate and things being sold and buildings being given away because of the landscaping change. It's just been
giving any airplanes away?
No, actually, they acquired
more planes.
They did. They're electric planes on one of our.
I'm not getting on an electric plane. I'm sorry. I heard about I'm not getting on an electric plane.
Well, it's their one of the subsidiary companies. I believe it's Mesa Airlines. They acquired electric planes, but they're only going to be like those traditional 30-minute flight planes.
I don't care. Tim, you getting on an electric plane? They have
on an electric plane.
Yeah, electric.
Yeah.
Why are they any more dangerous than a fuel propelled plane?
I don't know. You trust? I don't know. Battery.
I just don't want the battery to die halfway between here and the place I gotta go.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really like getting on planes. I'm absolutely terrified of flying them.
I guess it could be quieter. You don't have to hear those. You hear the jets roaring. If you're sitting.
I mean, technically, you could just put like solar panels on a plane. I mean, they're up in the sky above the clouds. They're hitting the sun.
That's true. That's true. They're always above the cloud line, right?
Pels, I posted a picture 2 weeks ago of my new office. Yeah. If that wasn't proof enough, what do you want me to do? Video myself driving to work in the morning? It's a 30-minute drive, bro.
Hey, Tim, vlog it. Vlog it.
Yeah, nothing but trees, man. Nothing but trees and 2-lane fucking country, Gwinnett County 2-lane country roads.
I want you to vlog your trip to work tomorrow morning. Just get your phone, set it up there, and just vlog all the way to work for Mike. Just for Mike.
Boy, that's just thrilling content for everybody.
Just talking.
I want you, while you're walking in, you're walking in the building, you have the camera going the whole entire time.
I'll figure something out.
As you're casually talking to your fellow coworkers.
I get there before everybody else. That's the way it works out. So I have to open the office at 7 a.m. every morning. Today we were there at 6:30 because we had a container to unload. Now, if anybody in the working world has ever had to unload a container, it's not the same as unloading a 53-foot trailer that backs up to your dock. You don't get 25 or 30 shrink wrap pallets that you can pull off with a forklift. When you get a container, you got to unload that fucker with your hands.
Yeah.
Are you talking about a C-cam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pfft. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they come over the ocean on those big Freightliners.
I used to have to pack C-cams on the way to the Middle East.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, as much as I enjoy my job, in any job, I would not want to be on the pack them or unload them side of the coin. Unloading them, there's 3 of us, so there's me and 2 guys, and we have to unload it. But it's nose to tail, floor to ceiling boxes. Like
it's jammed in there, man.
Asia played Tetris on their end and packed it to the brim, and then it comes over on the water to us, and then we got to unload it.
Tim, show us your hands.
Now, what kind of goodies are in these sea cans? Are there any any naughties on there?
Metric tons of weed. Metric tons of weed. That's where we just peddle weed. No,
Well, no, I was gonna say. I mean, so you're buying weed from Asia when there's a poor weed farmer.
No,
in Georgia.
I work for a company that is a wholesale manufacturer. So basically, we manufacture third party. Universal. Well, I wouldn't call them universal because they are specific to model, but appliance parts. So for parts for washers and dryers and stoves and shit like that. So basically, where you'd have to run out and you buy the OEM knobs for your Viking stove, we basically have the third-party version.
The version of it, yeah.
The knockoff.
The clone
of the knob, or the seal and gasket kit for a
cool.
Whirlpool washing machine.
So what you're saying, instead of me getting Louis Vuitton, I'm getting Louis Vuitton.
Yes. Yeah. Instead of getting Nike, you're getting Nikkei.
You know what Butana is, right? Or Sicilian, right? You know what Butana is in Sicilian?
No. So that's what we do. And so basically all that stuff comes from, all the parts are manufactured in China. We own 3 factories in China, our company does. And all of our parts are manufactured there.
Yeah, but John, that's what I think of people who have Louis Vuitton anyway, so knockoff or not.
Madison is a very frugal, simplistic, minimalist, non-material person in that regard. She would never own a Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, just
not even a knockoff version of it. I don't even like purses. I've got a backpack I got for $14. I can put my rechargeable battery thing, and I got the things on the side there. And if I want to lock it, I can lock it.
There you go.
I thought you said if I want to rock it, I can lock it.
There you go.
That's my work backpack.
Oh, that's the high end. That's the high
Madison's
end backpack.
purse right there.
That's the high end backpacks.
$14 is.
Think of all the vape gear she can carry in that.
Yeah.
Exactly. I got this little front pocket part there. You can just stuff stuff in.
Oh,
so it's her vape pack.
The vape bag.
That's her vape pack.
That's Louis Vuitton, right?
Yeah.
That backpack.
I gotta knuckle down, kids. I gotta pick me up that Abyss unit.
Did you get it? Did you order
it? I kept meaning to since last week, so hopefully I'll have a little show and tell. I don't know how fast Health Cabin stuff arrives, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
No, it's not Jansport.
It's trailers.
It's Tizwola. Tzowla.
Oh, that's a big brand in France, though. You might want to change
Is
that.
it?
Yeah, that's a big brand in France.
Tizwola?
Yeah, it's big. It's big over there. I don't know.
I got it on Amazon.
Guy?
Amazon best choice.
My fashion is 501s, Vans, and fucking t-shirt. That's my fashion statement. That's it. Tim doesn't own a shirt with sleeves, so
I do. I just don't wear them around you.
Oh,
I have plenty of shirts with. I have to wear sleeves to work. I can't walk in looking like this.
You can't come in rocking that look.
Well, no. I mean, I can go in wearing a respectable shirt, and I always wear my rocker black boot cut stretch jeans. That's a staple. However, I do leave my hair down some days. Not all days. A lot of days I have to be out on the floor. So I just pull it back.
Pull it back.
Well, it's hot out there. It's a fucking warehouse. It's not air conditioning out in a warehouse. Yeah. Got about 35 fans back there, just kind of circulating hot air.
That's it.
So, yeah,
I did get a new vape pod.
Yeah, what you get? Yeah, I was just going to
I got this. It's a Geek Vape. Don't ask me the tank, but it's got the Zeus guy on it. I can't remember what the tank's called off the top of my head, but it's pretty interesting. It's got the airflow on the top.
Yeah, it's got top airflow, no bottom.
But the only thing that it's not too bad, is you have to pop off the lid.
Yeah.
But it's not a really bad unscrew like how the original days were. So you just pop it off, and then it's got the two flows that way, and then you can pop.
Is that factory coils or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's mesh. They only make mesh for it, but it's not too bad. They're having the airflow at the top. You definitely don't really have any.
I don't know if it's a Z tank.
No, it's a Geek Vape.
Oh, it's Geek Vapes. What is that? What is that thing? The Blitz? No, am I thinking right? Is it the Blitz?
It's a sub-ohm tank.
Yeah, it's a sub-ohm tank from Geek Vape. I can't remember the name of it.
Sub-ohm.
It's got Zeus on it.
It won't.
Well, hold on. They have a sub-ohm tank. They call it the Geek Vape Z sub-ohm tank, which is also known as Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus.
Yeah.
It's a Z mesh coil system.
Nice.
So it's basically a Zeus, but in a sub-ohm form.
Yeah. Nice.
As opposed to the true RTA, which I have the RTA.
Yeah, I have the RTA here too.
It looks just like the other Zeus. It looks exactly like it. It's just a sub-ohm version.
How do you like it, Maddie?
I mean, I like it. I like just having the airflow at the top and not getting the leaking or that that bubbling that sometimes you get when it sits there and it kind of like bubbles a little bit, with that airflow with those pre-factory coils. I don't get that with this, or that accidental leakage because it's at the top there. The only thing I miss is having that be able to
slide it open. Yeah.
To put it in, but this isn't too bad with having to just pop it off. It really just is pretty easy. You don't even have to make like a full circle. It's basically just like
half a turn,
just a quarter turn or something.
Yeah. So it's not terribly too bad.
How's the coils? Have you had it long enough to replace a coil yet?
I have not replaced the coil yet, and I've had it for a month.
What?
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you're not vaping like you used to, though.
No. When I'm at work, no. If I work at home, yeah. But it just, I guess, kind of varies. But no, not like I used to. But it's still not too bad. I mean, the flavor on it. I mean, to me, it's not the same as the buildable coils, but
right,
it's definitely pretty
you vape
close
the
to
same juice all the time, so.
No.
You know your flavor. No, I mean you vape the same brands all the time, so you know your flavors.
Here's my flavors, Ben. My daily flavors right now.
Yeah.
And they're all from different companies. Because I'm going back to it, I'm just like, oh, I'm kind of bored. Let me try this one. What is this one? Let me try it.
600.
So it's not bad, 600 to 1,000 puffs before having to actually think about replacing the coil.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
How many days is that for you, Luke? 3 to 5, 7 to 10? I don't know how much you vape or how many different devices you're vaping simultaneously.
Yeah, I don't know. I was wanting to do that average thing for everybody to do it. I keep forgetting to do that for everybody to post their average per day by keep checking their counters, but I keep forgetting to post.
Well, I can tell you this much: since I started working, I'm not vaping nearly as much during the day because I just don't have the luxury to run outside and vape as much as I want. Now, they don't really say anything to me when I do kind of make a dash for the front door, but I'm outside, 30 seconds. I take a couple big rips and then I go back inside. I'm not out there burning, a 15-minute break per cigarette kind of thing.
That's not bad. A week, and they're running they're probably averaging about $250.
No, I think
coil.
I can tell you this much: these GTX coils for this the Vaporesso. I mean, I've been using this pretty much exclusively. I haven't really been using anything else, and these probably get me about a week before it really. And it depends on the juice too.
Yeah,
it depends on the juice.
See, I don't vape that much, other than when I'm on this show. So my problem with the coils, with the sub-ohm factory coils, were the cotton would end up getting so saturated it wouldn't work anymore, and I was replacing it, and I wasn't getting the week like you guys are getting, or 5-6 days, because I'd hit it once in a while, and it seemed like 3 or 4 days down, the cotton would just get so saturated and stop. It just wasn't there for me, so that's why I stopped using sub-ohm tanks. I
haven't ran into that with this. Yeah, this one I haven't ran into. I mean, I can sit my mod down here for 3-4 days, and I don't know if it's because it is that top airflow versus that bottom, but I don't have that issue with this one.
Is it top but coming out on the bottom, or is it coming from the? I guess you can't really tell within the coil right there.
It's got the bottom feed.
Yeah,
for the juice.
That's where the juice well. Yeah, that's where the juice is getting.
It all depends on how they deal with the chimney section,
right? Yeah,
because Justin was the guy who actually created the Zeus RTA. If a lot of people don't know who Justin is the guy that went on to create Oxfa. So he created the Arbiter RTA, which is a top airflow RTA, but the chimney section routes the air from the top down the sides, and the air then comes up from the bottom underneath your coil based on how he's got the airflow routed, coming in from the top, pushing it down to the bottom. So it's still a top flow design, but the mechanism is you pull air in from the top so it doesn't leak, but it's routed down and then comes up from underneath your coil. So I don't know if he designed the Zeus sub-ohm tank to work like that.
He sure in the hell did. I guess Brian is not going to make it. We're about out of time anyway. So, any goodbyes, Tim? Tim, goodbye.
I always have goodbyes for everybody. Thank you to Madison for coming and spending some time. We haven't seen Maddie in a while. She's been busy, had babies, changing jobs, all kinds of stuff going on in her life. So thanks to Maddie for stepping in and saying hello. You're a lot more attractive to look at than Brian. I can tell you that much too. But beyond that, thanks to everybody who shows up week after week and gets in on the chat. I love to see the banter going back and forth. Just talking about vaping and all the different stuff that they got going on, all the different variety of people that show up and understand the reason why we're here. And that's to talk about. This show we were a little off track quite a bit, but we'd talk about vaping and talk about how we can help each other with vaping, and we keep the news and the advocacy elements flowing, and we get those ideas out there and bounce ideas off of each other. So I absolutely 1,000,000,000% appreciate everybody who shows up in the chat every week and watches the show. It it's motivation for us to keep doing this too. I mean, you know, if we could talk to each other all night, but it's more fun to have you guys here. So beyond that, you know, I'm excited for next week as usual. Hopefully it won't be on a container day. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm burned out. My muscles hurt. I got another container coming on Friday, so
Protein shakes.
my work is cut out for me.
Sam, protein shake. Got to get yourself a pre-shake and when you're done doing your container. I'm telling you, it'll help you. We're at that age. We need to put proteins back in our bodies. Tell them
I
that.
just run off and go get some hamburger for lunch. That puts the proteins right back in my system. All that processed protein.
Yeah. Oh, and Madison, thank you for coming on. Appreciate seeing you here. Hopefully you'll bring us some CBD and Delta 8 news down the road. I know you're busy. Thanks to Tom for showing up for an hour. Tom had some cow issues on the farm. There was a tornado there. It swept all his cattle out. No, I'm kidding. And thank you to all you guys out there. Appreciate it. And don't steal Madison's Vapecoin idea. That's hers. So
yeah, that was patent. She didn't tell you she patented that idea. Yeah.
She will be CFO. Is that the correct term? The CFO?
No,
CEO.
I don't think she wants to be the chief financial officer. Nobody wants to do the accounting portion in an organization.
We can make my mom do it. She does it for a living.
There you go.
There, she wants CEO. She wants to be the CEO.
CEO, yeah.
She wants her own parking space, all that jazz.
Why can't I just be the executive VP for DT?
There you go. You could do that too.
And throw out some more acronyms while
Just
you're
don't
at it.
be that guy from the news article that I posted today on the other page. That article kind of blew me away. That on MSN and from the universe and a big university. And I don't understand how a university of that size can have $13 million disappear and not be concerned about $13 million. But did you guys see that article? That guy embezzled $12 million from the University of Florida, and 11 million of it went to porn sites.
I saw that, yeah.
Right on.
Dude.
Go porn.
How much porn is that guy watching?
The internet is for porn.
Dude, Jesus Christ.
I bet you it was, what is it? Fanfares is probably what he
was watching a lot of live stuff. So, and yeah, it was, and then they kind of broke it down. He used some of the money for other stuff. And I think he was using, from what I understand though, I think he was using the porn site as kind of laundering the money to get it back with the person that he was sending the money to. So he was sending the money to the girl that was on there, and then they were breaking it like back 60-40. So he was still getting part of that money back. So he was using that site to launder money back. Dude, I was just like, I was like 12 million. How do you not?
Well, you see how well that plan worked out. He got caught.
He got caught. But think about how long he was doing it to get $11 million. I mean,
no one noticed it.
And nobody noticed $11 million going to some porn website, dude. All right, Madison, you could say your goodbyes. You know you missed us. You missed me and Tim.
Yeah, so I was reading this article. I'm going to watch this case, and so when I come on the next time, we could talk about it. There is a case currently going on in California. And it looks like somebody who's been in prison for 22 years, federal prison for 22 years, has a Supreme Court case opening, which could be a huge, huge win for the cannabis community.
Oh, wow.
And possibly might result in an executive order from Biden coming soon about granting clemency to people with certain nonviolent drug convictions.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to watch this case and see if I can get some more info off of it. Maybe next Wednesday, we can talk about this, because this would definitely be the case moving to the federal level legalization of marijuana. So that would be absolutely huge for everybody. And as I can tell from the chat, seems like there's quite a bit of potheads in here. So
just a few.
Few weed heads.
Right, exactly.
We tried to weed those guys out.
Well, hey, listen, it would work perfect for you, John, because I mean, you are the creator of the Looney Tunes.
The what?
Yeah.
You're the Looney Tune creator, so
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah.
And then make sure to check out Midnight Gospel. I'm telling you, it is life shattering. You should watch it. You will
I'm
learn
gonna
a
check
lot.
it out. I'm on there. I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Ye-
I'll make sure
yeah.
I won't be drunk while I'm watching the show, though. I guarantee you that.
I don't know if it's going to have an effect on you while you're drunk, but you know, definitely watch it. You might yeah, it's pretty crazy. And John, you'll when you see the apparatus as to what he has to put his head in.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that.
I am curious to hear the giggle that you have with it.
I'll go live and watch the show live.
I don't think it's appropriate for children or YouTube.
Yeah, I don't have no kids on my thing. Again, everybody, thank you. Check out those sites that I put links to them in the chat. Golden Oldies. What was the name of it again? Is that it? Golden Oldies.
I don't remember now.
Upload your videos.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
a minute long. I think she gives you guys a minute long. So get on over there, join the group, upload your videos. And also, if you want to find this, you'll find that on our Facebook group page. It would be great to see Instagram, Twitter filled with those again. So it would be great. All right, guys. Thanks again, Tim. Thank you, Madison. Thank you, Tom, for coming on. And Brian, what are we going to give Brian?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding, Brian. We love you.
Good luck with the job, Brian.
Yeah. Work first. Work family first. All right,
Priorities.
guys. That's right. Priorities. Good night, and we'll talk to everybody next Wednesday.
Yeah.